Hi, Rob Glass, Superintendent of Bloomfield Hills Schools, here again with another edition of Ask Rob. A question came in this week about when are we going to have a calendar for the 16-17 school year? Great question. We all like to have those calendars early so that we can plan our events and our vacations and other life events with our families. However, this year, our 16-17 calendar has not yet been determined because we are currently bargaining a new contract. And our composition of our calendar is part of that bargaining process. We're working on it now. We hope to have it very shortly, and as soon as we do, we'll get it out to you. We thank you for your patience with this. Another thing I'd like to talk about is something that recently happened with the Michigan legislature and the signing of a Bill 571, into law by Governor Snyder. This bill was initially about campaign finance reform. It was about 12 pages long, but in the legislative process, at the very last minute, right before the legislature broke for the holidays, a lot of amendments were added to that bill. About 40 pages worth of amendments were added to that bill. And as a result, the complexity of it went way up, and legislators did not have the time to fully understand everything that was in it. One of the things that was in it was a provision that does not allow school districts, municipalities, libraries, any public agency to provide any factual information on any ballot question that might be coming to voters up to 60 days before that ballot question. So for example, we just passed a millage renewal that was very important to us. It did not increase taxes, it just continued with the status quo. But there were a lot of complexities to that for those who aren't paying attention to school district business on a daily basis. And to be able to explain those factually without advocating one way or the other was very important, not only for the school district, but more importantly for the taxpayers to know exactly what was being proposed for their tax dollars based on that proposal. Under this new law, we are not able to communicate any factual information 60 days prior, up to 60 days prior. So at the time when most voters are paying the most attention to what they're going to be voting on, that 60-day window prior to an election, no information can be provided. And there are severe penalties for violating this law. And so I wanted to just let you know of our concern with this law, that we advocated for its veto, as did many other entities, seeing this flaw in the law. Nonetheless, it was signed, it is law, and it is of a great concern to us. We're now looking at next avenues for having amendments made to that law or other measures that would allow us to be able to provide this information to you in the future. But for now, this is our position, and I wanted to make you aware of it. Lastly, I want to talk about one of our 10 guiding principles. Usually I take time to talk about at least one of them. Our fourth guiding principle, which has to do with our value on strong, caring relationships, both for our students to students and our teachers to students, and our teachers to teachers, all of our staff members. In other words, in our school district, we're very committed to the idea that relationships matter deeply. There's an old adage that you've probably heard, and it goes like this. People don't want to know, they don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that is part of what we're talking about here. Teachers certainly are great facilitators for our students, but our students won't necessarily have any reason to care very much about what our teachers can offer or what they can learn from one another until they know and trust that first, we deeply care about them as individuals. And I think you know from your own experience that this is true. You tend to trust, rely, and receive the most from those that you know and respect and can trust and have a good relationship with. The second part of that guiding principle involves high levels of collaboration. We're living in a day and age, as you know, in whatever field of endeavor you're working in, where collaboration is the key. And so we're now transforming teaching from an enterprise that used to be one teacher with one group of students kind of close the door and the magic happens in that classroom. And it often does, by the way. But we're now moving to a model where we can leverage those relationships and that collaboration between teachers, between classrooms, and between students in ways that can be very powerful for making sure that we meet everyone's needs at a very high level. With that, I'll leave you, and I'll thank you for your support in this new year, 2016. I hope you're off to a great start, and certainly our school district is. Thank you very much.